Hi friends, welcome back for another math lesson. Today we're going to be working on perimeter problems with sides unknown, and this time we're looking at complex shapes instead of simple shapes. Let's jump right in. On our agenda today, we're continuing to build our knowledge of perimeter. You will watch 2 Khan Academy video examples, and then you'll do 2 Khan Academy practice activities. Now, that might sound like a lot, but don't worry, it's only 8 problems, so no need to stress. All right, so like I said, we're building on our knowledge. So just like yesterday, I'm going to have you look at 2 problems, and we're going to try to see what's the same about these and what's different. These are different problems than yesterday. So I want you to take a second, think in your brain, how are these problems the same? If you need to pause the video to have some think time, that's totally okay. Again, how are these problems the same? What is the same about these shapes? If you said that they both have rectangles, you're right. This is a rectangle. This is made up of rectangles. But let's look a little bit more closely, right? What information are we given and what do we need to find? Again, think in your brain. If you need to pause, totally okay. In these shapes, we are given some of the side lengths, and we are trying to find the lengths of the missing sides and the perimeter, which remember is the total distance around the outside of a shape. Okay, I have another question for you. What is different about these shapes? We just found what was the same. What is different about these shapes? Think in your brain. If you need to pause, totally okay. Well, I know that shape 1 is a rectangle, so I can use the shape rules that we talked about yesterday to help me figure out the missing side lengths, right? So I know that with rectangles, opposite sides are the same length. So if this side is 9, this side will be 9. And if the bottom is 11 inches, the top will be 11 inches. With shape 2 is a little bit more irregular, right? It's not a shape that I can name right away. I don't have a name for a shape that looks like an L, right? So, and I don't think of it as a square or a rectangle or a triangle, right? It's not something I can easily name in my brain. So I need to use a new strategy to help me find the missing side lengths. And we're going to go over that strategy in our first video. But before we do that, let's just jump back and review really quickly the rules for finding the missing side lengths of regular shapes. So with rectangles, like we talked about, the opposite sides are the same length. All 4 sides of a square are the same length. So if I know one side is 1 inch, I know that all the sides are 1 inch. And all 3 sides of an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangles are ones that look like this, where all the sides are the same length. So I know if one side of this triangle is 3 centimeters, the other sides are 3 centimeters as well. Now, this also applies to regular shapes like a hexagon. Think in your brain, how many sides does a hexagon have? If you said 6, you're right. A hexagon has 6 sides, and if it was a regular hexagon, that would mean that all the sides were the same length. So, for example, if I knew one side of the hexagon was 6 inches, then all the other sides of that hexagon would be 6 inches as well. Okay, time for our first video. So in this video, we're going to look at a problem where we know some side lengths and we need to find the missing side lengths and the perimeter.
What is the perimeter of the figure below? So down here we have this figure, and we are asked to find the perimeter of this figure. Perimeter is the distance all the way around the outside of a shape. So in this case, if I were to walk around the outside, or maybe a human's too big, if an awesome little ant was to walk all the way around the outside of this figure, how far she walked would be the perimeter. So to find that, what we can do is figure out how long is this side, and then combine it with the length of this side, and combine it with the length of this side. And once we combine all of the side lengths, we'll have the perimeter, or the distance around the outside of the figure. So let's start. We can start up here. We can see that this side length is 5 centimeters. So we have 5 centimeters. Plus, moving down the side here, we have another 3 centimeters. And then going across, next distance is 4 centimeters. After that, we go down this side right here, which is another 4 centimeters. And as we keep going across the bottom, we have another 9 centimeters. And then we head up this side, and we don't have a label. We don't know how far this is. But to find perimeter, we need the distance around the entire outside. If this little ant, she walked the whole way, we've got to know the entire distance she walked. So what we can do is, we can look over here and say if this length right here is 3 centimeters, well then that same length over here is also 3 centimeters. And where that 3 centimeters left off, this 4 centimeters, this length picked up. So from here to here is another 4 centimeters.
If this is confusing for you, what I find helps is to imagine that there's a dotted line that's right here that splits these two shapes, or splits, this big one shape into two rectangles, right? So if I put a dotted line here, I would have one rectangle here, and I would have another rectangle here. And then you can just use your shape rules like we did yesterday to help you find the opposite side length. So if I'm thinking of this as one rectangle, and I know that this side is 3, this side would also be 3 because it's opposite, right? Same with this rectangle. If I know that this side is 4 centimeters, the opposite side would also be 4 centimeters.
So if we have 4 centimeters plus another 3 centimeters, that's a total of 7 more centimeters. So now we know the entire, all of the lengths around the outside. So if we combine them or add them, we'll know the perimeter. So we can start 5 plus 3 is 8. 4 plus 4 is another 8. 9 plus 7, let's see, instead of 7, I could do 9 plus 1 and 6, because that's the same as 7. 9 plus 1 is 10, and 10 plus 6 is 16. 8 plus 8 is another 16, so we have a 16 and a 16. 16, let's see, 6 ones plus 6 more ones is 12 ones. And 1 10 plus another 10, or 10 plus 10 is 20. So another way we could add this is 20 plus 12, which is a total of 32. And we were talking about centimeters here, so 32 centimeters. The distance all the way around the outside of this figure, or the perimeter of the figure, is 32 centimeters.
I'm so glad that she remembered to label. All right, time for our next video example. In this video, we know some side lengths and the perimeter, but we need to find the missing side lengths.
The perimeter of the figure is 24 centimeters. What is the length of the missing side? So we're told this figure down here has a perimeter of 24 centimeters. The perimeter is 24 centimeters. So what that tells us is that the distance around the entire outside is 24 centimeters. But what we want to know is what is the length of the missing side? Well, the missing side is going to be the side we're not told, so it will be this one here because we have this question mark. It's missing, it is not labeled. So we've got to figure out what number should go on this missing side so that the entire length is 24 centimeters. So let's start with what we do know. We know that this top length, this top side has a length of 6 centimeters, plus going down the left has a length of 5 more centimeters, plus across the bottom is 4 more centimeters, and the last known side is another 4 centimeters. So when we add all those plus this mystery side, we should get a perimeter of 24. The entire distance, all of this, the 6 plus the 5 plus the 4 plus the 4 plus this mystery number should get us to a perimeter of 24. So let's add over here and try to make it a little simpler to find our missing side. I can add in any order, and I love making tens, so I'm going to say 6 and 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15, and 15 plus 4 more is 19. So we know where 19 centimeters come from on this shape. Here's the 19 centimeters are here outlined in blue. So how many more centimeters, what length must this missing side be to get us a total distance around the outside of 24 centimeters? We can do that math. 19 plus 1 more is 20, and then plus 4 more to 24. So 1 more to 20 and 4 more, that's a total of 5 more. So the missing side length is 5 centimeters. This side right here must be 5 centimeters in order for the total perimeter to be 24. Okay, let's look at one more. This time it says that the perimeter of a rectangle is 32 meters and one side is 11 meters. What is the length of the missing side? So again, we have a missing side. So let's visualize this. Let's draw ourselves a rectangle here. It says what a rectangle looks like. And we know that one side is 11 centimeters. So one side is 11, or meters, excuse me. And because we know that this side is 11 meters, we also know that this side is 11 meters. On a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So those two we know. But what we don't know are this top and the bottom. Those are the missing sides. So what are those side lengths? Well, again, we know we have a perimeter of 32 meters. We're told right here perimeter is 32 meters. So the question is 11 plus 11 for these two sides, 11 and 11, plus some mystery number, and then plus that same mystery number, because these two sides are equal, and that has to give us a total of equals 32, because 32 is the total distance around the outside. So let's add the 11s. 11 plus 11 is 22. So 22 plus how many more gets us to 32? Well, 22 plus 10 more is 32. But if we label one of these sides as 10, then the other one would have to be 0. So they have to be equal. So how can we equally split those 10 meters between the two sides? Half of 10 is 5. So these sides are each 5 meters. 22, 5 plus 5 is 10. 22 plus 10 is 32. So the missing side length is 5 meters.
All right. Now that we've watched our 2 videos for our different types of perimeter problems with complex shapes and missing sides, it's going to be time for you to jump into your activities. So you're going to go back to today's assignment on Google Classroom. It should say Thursday, April 30th, 2020 under Math. You're going to click on the Khan Academy link to find perimeter when a side length is missing. I'll show you what it looks like. So it'll look like this. Might be a different problem. Make sure you read all of the directions. The figure below is made of rectangles. Label the missing side length. Click each dot on the image to select an answer. So anytime you see a flashing dot like this, you have to click on it and then choose your answer for the missing side length. Then you'll answer the question at the bottom that says what is the perimeter of the figure, or whatever the question is, and you'll type your answer into the box. When you're done with that one, you'll click on the Khan Academy link that again is on Google Classroom to finding a missing side length when given perimeter. It sounds similar to the other one, but it's actually a different activity. So for that one, I'll show you what it looks like. Again, make sure you read all of the directions. The regular pentagon below has a perimeter of 55 centimeters. What is the length of one side? So you'll just answer in the box. Again, your question might be a little bit different than this one. Ooh, I forgot one really important step first. Do you remember what it is? I have to remember to click, you can't see it here, but because I'm logged into my account, let me see if I log out here. Then I can show you. Yep. So this is what your page will look like when you first open it. You need to make sure that before you do any Khan Academy activities that you click log in. If you don't know your login information, please reach out to your teacher. Boston College friends, I've attached your login information again to your assignment on Google Classroom, just in case you need to access it. But again, please reach out to your teacher if you don't have your Khan Academy login information, okay? Super important that you remember to log in before you do any of the activities here, because if you don't log in, your teacher's not going to know that you did the assignment, okay? So very, very important. I'm going to put that on here. Click log in. Click log in. It might save your login once you go to the second activity. But again, make sure that you are logged in and that it says your username in the top right corner. Then you'll know that you're logged in. And when you're done with both activities on Khan Academy, you're going to go back to Google Classroom and click Turn In on the assignment. And that's how we'll know that you're done with both and you're ready for us to check it. You've got this. Good luck. We believe in you, and reach out with any questions that you might have. Take care, friends. We'll see you soon.